Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ulrike and I am a K-beauty and skincare content creator, blogger, writer, social media creator, YouTuber, podcaster, and just general skin enthusiast. And I thought today will be a good day for another one product review, and it's a product that I've been meaning to talk about for a while and somehow it never quite fit into any of the topics here in the video. It is a serum that I've really been enjoying, and I think a lot of people with various skin issues might benefit from knowing it a little bit better. And it is the Some by Me Propolis B5 Glow Barrier Calming Serum. So I will tell you a little bit about the brand Some by Me first, just a tiny bit, and then introduce you to the wonderful properties of Propolis, and then give you my review of the products. So Some by Me is a relatively young Korean brand. I think I would say target a more younger audience as well. They have a lot of products that focus on the blemish prone, acne prone, oilier skin, sort of the problems that more teenage skin or people in their 20s tend to have. However, lately I have actually started getting more interested in them. Before, they have a lot of acid-based products. They had that, I forgot what the toner was called, that AHA, PHA, BHA, all of the HA different acids in one supposedly miracle toner that everyone was crazy about. But it didn't really appeal to me that much because it seemed that the concentration of the acid wasn't that high. And I don't know, I just never felt that as a 40-plus-year-old woman, that was necessarily a brand I would be interested in, to be honest. I just felt I was too old, to be honest. But lately they have been producing a couple of products that I've started to get very, very interested in. And this particular skincare range, the Propolis B5 Glow Barrier Calming Skin Series, has really, really caught my attention. I kind of wanted to try the whole range, but didn't really have the money to order all of the products. So I decided to get this specific serum to try out what this skincare range can do, and then maybe get some of the other products. And the serum has really been impressing me. So Some by Me, just to explain the name a little bit, the Me is written M-I and not M-E. So the Me, I don't know if this is true because I'm not a Korean native speaker, so correct me if you speak Korean. But the brand itself says that the quote-unquote misspelled Me actually refers to the Korean word Me, which means beauty. So it is a brand that is supposed to make you beautiful. How original, I guess. I don't know why I always make scathing remarks about brand names, but I just often find them a little bit strange. But I do think it's quite a striking, catching brand name, and I do really like actually many of their products. They seem to be very focused on active ingredients and a lot of sort of no frills type products, and I actually find them quite affordable. They're not super cheap. They're kind of in the mid-range, I would say in the lower mid-range, but many K-beauty shops have sales specifically on Some by Me products because they're quite competitive and they're quite popular. So you can usually get a really good deal on the products. And so I thought it would be a really good serum to introduce you to because it is pretty affordable. And the reason that the skincare range caught my eye is actually because it combines two of my favorite skincare ingredients of all time, Centella asiatica / Cica, and Propolis. And because I don't know how much you already know about Propolis, I thought I'd first give you a little overview of what Propolis actually is, because I think a lot of people get wrong what it actually is and where it comes from, and what it can do for your skin. Plus I go through a couple of other skincare ingredients in this serum, and then I share my little review with you. All right, Propolis. which I used to always pronounce as Propolis, but then I actually looked up the official pronunciation and apparently it is Propolis, which makes sense because we also say properties. But anyway, Propolis. What is Propolis? So basically Propolis is like bee glue, I would say. It is a bee byproduct and a really, really important one. What it isn't is the same as honey. I feel a lot of people kind of mix it up with honey, or maybe think it is a type of honey, or that it looks like honey. It doesn't help that a lot of brands who use Propolis in their products always advertise them by showing honey, because that really obviously isn't the fault of the consumer then if they think it is basically either a type of honey or the same as honey. It has a completely different consistency and it's certainly not something you want to eat raw. It basically is like it's like glue. It is produced by the bees from mixing pollen, resin that they collect from the forest around them, around the beehive, which is also why every type of propolis is always a little bit different depending on the types of trees that grow around the beehive that produces the propolis, because you get different types of resins from different types of trees, right? And then beeswax is also usually mixed into it. So it is quite a thick and quite durable substance. The bees use it for all sorts of things. It's really, really interesting once you actually read into it. They use it to build their beehive. They use it to seal off little nooks and crannies so that no one can get in, and to trap the heat inside and create that lovely humid atmosphere that bees just love. And they use it also to fight off intruders. They can use it to seal in any sort of insects, for instance, that are trying to get in. And since the propolis starts to harden, basically they mummify those intruders. What they also can do is use it in order to trap pathogens, for instance, bacteria, fungus, or any type of viruses that might invade the beehive. And because it hardens, once you entrap something in it, they can then use it also to more easily transport out things they don't want in their beehive anymore. Propolis has a lot of really amazing properties that can be used for medicinal purposes. You find propolis quite a lot actually in, what are they called, lozenges, those cough drops, or cough, why can't I think of the word? Lozenges, I think. I'm probably mispronouncing it, but you know what I mean. And cough syrup as well often contains propolis, because propolis has antibacterial properties. That also gives you the first hint of why we might use it in skincare. Apart from being antibacterial, it is also anti-inflammatory, so it can fight redness and inflammation, and it might be able to help with wound healing. And it even is antifungal. So that is why in many, many Reddit forums, it is usually recommended to use propolis products if you have fungal acne. Now, fungal acne, I would advise you to always check with a dermatologist if you think you have fungal acne. From what I've heard, fungal acne is a bit of an overdiagnosed internet phenomenon, overdiagnosed by people on the internet, not by actual dermatologists. Very often, fungal acne is actually just regular acne. But in any case, when it comes to propolis, it doesn't even matter if you have fungal acne or just plain old regular acne, because it really is a fantastic skincare ingredient to use on any acne-prone skin because of its mix of antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and very soothing and calming properties. So any type of inflamed skin problem, propolis may have a really positive effect on it. There are also, I think, more anecdotal stories from people. Again, I've mostly read this on Reddit and don't know how scientific it is, but a lot of people who have acne and acne scarring have said that propolis products have really helped them to heal that acne or acne scarred skin. Propolis also contains a lot of phytonutrients and flavonoids, so it also is a source of antioxidants, which means it could also have anti-aging benefits for your skin. And it doesn't just work for oily and blemish-prone skin. Propolis also actually is quite a nourishing ingredient. If you get one of those high percentage propolis ampoules, Tosuwung has one, Dr. Surical has a really famous one that is very, very good. Cosrx has a very famous propolis ampoule. By Wishtrend has a propolis ampoule. And usually they feel almost kind of oily. They usually are quite thick, syrupy, and feel very, very nourishing and moisturizing on the skin. So if you have dry skin, especially dry skin that tends to be flaky and tends to get really, really red from just the stresses of being very dry, this could also be a fantastic ingredient to add. So propolis just really an all-rounder when it comes to skincare. It can do so many amazing things. Now, when it comes to the Some by Me propolis ampoule, the reason why this is such a really cool product is that Some by Me basically combined the amazing properties of propolis with another fantastic skincare all-rounder, Centella asiatica. Now, Some by Me calls it a quote-unquote true Cica complex. I don't know if that is any sort of scientifically based or tested special complex. The only medical grade Cica complex that I know of is Teca. Odile Monod talks about this in one of her videos on Centellian 24. So I don't know if true Cica is just a word creation or not. Be that as it may, Centella asiatica, so fantastic. I've talked about it so many times. It is anti-inflammatory, potentially wound healing, speeding up wound healing, antioxidant rich. It really is fantastic if you need a soothing, calming, but also acne busting, breakout busting type of ingredient. And you can never get enough Centella asiatica, basically. In combination with the propolis, it really just doubles the power of this just being such a fantastic ingredient for blemish-prone, acne-prone skin. This ampoule, by the way, apart from the propolis, also contains honey extract, which is a humectant, and royal jelly. I have to admit, royal jelly, I think, is probably a little bit more gimmicky. I think it also contains antioxidants, but I don't know if it does anything specifically for the skin. The main power really comes from the propolis extract. This contains 73% of propolis extract, so it is quite a high content, but unlike many other high content propolis ampoules, this is not an oily or oil-like texture. This is basically a gel texture, and it contains a host of humectants. I wrote them all down. I wrote down a whole breakdown of all of the different ingredients. So the main ones are glycerin and then 3 types of hyaluronic acid, but it also contains sugar molecules and the honey extract, which are all humectants as well. In case you don't know, or maybe it has slipped your mind potentially, humectants are so-called water-grabbing ingredients, so they can draw water into the layers of your skin, and by that combat dehydration and also make your skin appear plumper and just more juicy. You know that whole chok Korean ideal of chok skin? That is exactly how you get that plumpness and that juiciness from using products with lots and lots of humectants. The serum also contains panthenol, and panthenol is another great skincare all-rounder that you can basically never go wrong with. Very calming, very soothing, and also another ingredient that potentially helps to speed up wound healing. It helps really well if you have redness or rashes or just skin that needs to be smoothed down, and it really is super calming. Also, apart from the Centella asiatica, this also contains mugwort. Very similar to Centella asiatica in that it is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant rich, a great one if you struggle with redness. For me, mugwort works a little bit better than Centella asiatica when it comes to redness. Niacinamide is also in there, so that's a brightening ingredient. And something that I forgot to say about propolis that I need to add here is that basically no one really ever talks about that when they talk about propolis, and I don't quite know why, because to me, the true superstar, secret superstar power of propolis is actually that it's really good to just get that beautiful, natural glow, the sort of lit from within quality. Especially high content propolis products, for me, have always just given me that insta glow. I think it is also from the texture of the propolis, which, as I said, is almost a little bit oil-like, that it just seems to just reflect the light back from the skin once you apply it, because it also works a little bit smoothing and it just boosts skin health. So if you're looking for some glow, this serum, this is the one. So let's get into the review now that you've learned everything about the ingredients. So as I said, this has a gel texture, but I feel it is a little bit more nourishing than just a simple hydrating serum. I think it comes from the fact that they also added a little bit of ceramides in here. I don't know how high the concentration is. It's also only one type of ceramide, but nevertheless, I do feel this just has a bit more of an oomph than many other water-based serums, and I really, really like that about it. Even though the texture feels quite nourishing, and at first you think it's quite almost a little bit heavy, it sinks into skin super, super fast. So I don't ever have a problem with it sort of sitting on the skin or feeling uncomfortable when I apply it or cloying. Not at all. It does sink into skin fast, and I feel it is one of those serums where you instantly feel that it provides hydration and nourishment. So I really was surprised when I used it the first time, how instantaneous that, as I said, lit from within, glowy kind of effect was. For me, this is the serum that I reach for when I just want insta glow and insta sort of freshness and I guess youthfulness. Because it really does such a good job just plumping up my skin, and I really appreciate that. This also feels really, really soothing and calming. I don't know if it's necessarily a star product when it comes to combating redness. I can't say it does much when it comes to that, but it does do a really good job at just calming down my skin, especially right before my period when I'm usually oilier. This is a serum I really like to use. I do have to say, however, if I want to go to a few negatives, this is quite heavily fragranced. It has this sort of, oh yeah, it just, every time it just hits my nose, I'm like, oh yeah, oh. It has a really strong and I believe fake honey smell. So it has something a little bit cloying to it that I don't appreciate. It's okay once you apply it to the skin. It's more a thing of when I pump it out of the bottle. By the way, I appreciate that this has a pump. It doesn't have one of those drop applicators, which I hate because they're always messy, they're always sticky. This has a pump, guys, which is so much better. And yeah, once you pump it out of the bottle, the smell just kind of hits you. I don't mind sweet smells, but this one is just a little bit too sickly sweet, if you ask me. And I don't know why they had to add it, because I don't think it adds anything to the product. And I really don't think it comes from the honey extract. This is some added fragrance that I really just think they should have left out because it's superfluous in this case, I think. So yeah, it does contain fragrance and quite heavy fragrance again. It just, yeah, it just hits your nose when you apply it. So that to me is a negative. Pretty much the only negative, it is alcohol free, so it does avoid that type of potentially drying ingredient. But yeah, just the fragrance, the only no-go for me. The reason I really like this, as I said, first of all, it really is just so refreshing and really very effectively hydrating. It also has slightly moisturizing properties, so it could work also if you have dry skin. However, I think when it really truly shines is when it comes to blemish prone and oilier skin because of that combination of the propolis and the Centella asiatica. This doesn't just contain Centella asiatica extract. This contains a whole host of Centella based and Centella derived ingredients. So it contains asiatic acid, metacassoside, all of those different various compounds. It's really chock full with Sika goodness. And you can really feel that from the way that it soothes, calms down, especially in combination with the panthenol. And it just has this beautiful glow boosting effect on the skin that is really, really noticeable. I don't think this will do anything for hyperpigmentation. It is more of an overall glow effect when you apply it. That more instantaneous glow that doesn't necessarily instantly brighten skin, but just makes it kind of reflect the light a little bit more healthily and beautifully. So yeah, for me, a really great product. It's also usually quite affordable. I would say the people that do best with it are people with blemish prone skin, with skin that just looks a little bit dull. And if you have combo skin, I think this is perfect for combo skin. It can work for dry skin, I think. Just double check for all skin types, double check if you can deal okay with the fragrance. To me, that is the only slightly negative thing. Otherwise, it's beautiful. I'll make sure to also put a texture shot in there somewhere so that you can see it. Not sure yet where I'm going to put it, but you probably have already seen it. And you will see how lovely and smooth that gel texture is. So beautiful, beautiful hydrating and glow-giving serum. I am kind of keen to try the other things in that range. I've heard good things about the mask, and apparently the moisturizers also very, very good. So well done, some by me. You finally have convinced me to give your brand a try. And yeah, I look forward to trying more things from the brand. And that was it for today with my little review of this serum. And I hope I helped you a little bit in case you were torn on whether or not you wanted to buy this product. As I said, I really do like it a lot. It only has one tiny negative, which is their strong fragrance. Everything else I really, really have been loving about this. And I would recommend it, especially for combo and oilier skin types. And it works really well right now in summer, and I think it will be even better once autumn hits. It is a great one for those transitional seasons where the weather is a little bit up and down, and anything with propolis is good in my book, really. So I hope to see you again next week with the new video. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really, really helps small creators to grow, to increase those numbers. So I'm always very, very grateful if you help. And I also always love when you leave a nice encouraging comment or share your own experiences with a product. And yeah, I see you again in the next video, and probably on Friday. Until then, take care. Bye.